Baby, what is up? Welcome back to another MMA breakdown. We're talking about UFC 230. And in today's video, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Dana White in the UFC has come out and said he's making a 165-pound weight class. And you guys might be thinking to yourself, why is this even necessary? According to MMAfighting.com, they say it's going to be possibly Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier fighting for the 165-pound title. And to be honest, Dustin Poirier has already come out and said he's interested in being that guy that makes that division. And if he fights against Nate Diaz, that would be a hell of a first fight for the 165-pound weight class. I definitely would recommend the UFC doing this. And you guys still might be thinking, well, they already have the 155-pound division. These guys are top contenders at the 155-pound division. They should just 155-pound division because they're already top contenders at 155. That's where they should be because 165 makes no sense. But I'll give you a reason. He has had a lot of people going from 170 down to 155, and they miss a lot of weight because the 155ers, some of these guys are weighing about 180 and they can't make that 155-pound weight limit. They try. They have extreme hard weight cuts. Donald Cowboy Cerrone, he said it best.
Do it. You have
I wish it
done
was like 60 or 65.
Right.
If it was 65 weight class, that'd be Cowboys weight class. But it's just that last 5 pounds is death.
If there was a 165-pound division, that's where he would be. Rafael dos Anjos said the same thing. 165 is the absolutely best weight class for him. Because a lot of these guys are too big for 155. They're too small for 170, but they go to 170 just because it's an easier fight because they don't have to cut a lot of weight to make that weight class. It is true that Dustin Poirier will fight Nate Diaz at 165. That will be crazy. That weight class will be a real big weight class. It will be a super lightweight division is what Luke Thomas is calling it, a super lightweight division, and Dustin Poirier will be up there, Nate Diaz will be up there, and I think if they fight for that title, that will show, if Nate Diaz wins, that he was a champion all along, that he is one of the pound-for-pound best fighters, and it will motivate Diaz to compete more often, and we'll see Diaz as a competitor more often, not just once every couple years. Because I think that fight's going to be a hell of a stand-up boxing match. And nobody outboxes the Diaz brothers. When Diaz has a great fighting camp, like a full training camp, Diaz has more traditional boxing than any other MMA fighter. They all have more like a Muay Thai fighting style. The only difference is he doesn't throw a lot of kicks, and Poirier will throw a lot of kicks. And if it goes to the ground, Diaz has the chance to win that fight. The bottom line is, I'm pumped for this. If it is real, and it's not just a rumor, that there will be a 165-pound weight class, this needs to actually happen, and they need to give it to, like, Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier. That's a super fight, because if they don't, it's just going to be at it's going to be a co-main event at UFC 230. Is that really what this fight is? It's a co-main event fight? No, it's a super fight. You have Dustin Poirier, who's been on a hell of a fight winning streak. You have Diaz, which is a guy who always comes forward, who's always hungry, who's always in the top 10. He's been fighting for almost like 8 to 10 years in the UFC. Is a very, very dominant fighter. But the UFC has only given one title shot in his whole career. The same thing with Dustin Poirier. He's never had a title fight. And Dustin Poirier right now is at the prime of his career. He's going like this. All his fights are going like this right now because he's just dominating fighters. But do you guys want to see Dustin Poirier versus Nate Diaz, not at a co-main event slot at UFC 230, but as a main event for the new 165-pound strap? They do make this for the 155-pound 155-pound number one contender. That's still pretty good, but if they make it for the 165-pound strap, that's even better. But Dana White has come out and has said nobody's in the run for this new division yet. He hasn't picked a fight yet. He's still saying they have to think about a fight that would work out for this weight class. And I'm telling you, Nate Diaz deserves that title. And I do agree Dustin Poirier deserves this shot as well. Because Dustin Poirier has come out on Twitter saying, I want this shot. And Diaz is basically saying the same thing, like, yep, I'm all gravy. It's all good, baby. So let's make the fight happen for the 165-pound strap. So as always, I'm Trevor from Trevor's MMA, back with another video, baby. Thanks for stopping by and watching. I'm pumped, as you can tell. Yeah.